We are doing a Pilates warm-up today. This can be used at the beginning of every day or before any workout. It's also a nice way to end your day. Let's begin by lying down. Just very carefully roll back one vertebrae at a time, and let's start with breathing. In through your nose. Exhale deeply through pursed lips. Take your hands, place them on your rib cage. Continue this breath pattern in through your nose and exhaling deeply through pursed lips is going to help to activate those deeper core muscles. Continue this pattern. Inhale. On the next exhale, I want you to try to feel that pelvic floor engagement. Just a gentle lift in those muscles between your sits bones. That's also going to help to activate the transverse abdominis. Continue this pattern. Inhale. We're just allowing for some mind-body connection with your hands on your rib cage. As you inhale, feel the rib cage expand laterally out to the side. And on the exhale, you'll feel the rib cage draw closer together. And as you do that, your fingertips are going to draw closer together. Do this a few more times. Inhale. Exhale, find that pelvic floor engagement as your fingertips draw closer together. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. This also helps with overall relaxation. Take the palm of your hands onto your hip bones with your fingertips pointing towards your pubic symphysis. And we're going into rocking pelvis here. I'd like you to, on the exhale, you're going to draw your hips up as if your tail is peeling up off the mat without any glute activation. And then inhale, and then exhale as you do the opposite. And you're going to feel a little bit of space between your low back. And then just continue to just feel that movement in your pelvis, just freedom of movement, feeling that movement also in relation to your femurs and to relation to your thigh bones. So just really getting a nice stretch in here. Make sure that your breath is matching this movement. And as our tail rolls up and peels up off the floor, this would be like a posterior tilt or leaning more into imprint, and then we go into an anterior tilt here. So I want you to settle someplace in the middle of these two. And this typically would be a neutral pelvis. So that would mean your ASIS and pubic symphysis are really at the same level or in the same plane. And we're going to try to work in this and try to stretch in this position as much as we can. But if we are not strong enough to hold a position as we get into our Pilates movement, then we want to work an imprint. So let's find imprint. So we worked on that anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. So to find that imprint, I want you to put your thumb on the bottom part of your rib cage and then put a finger on your hip bones on your ASIS. And on the exhale, I just want you to draw those together with your fingers. So you're going to feel a shortening of the abdominals. We're using our obliques to shorten this area here. The low back is going to feel more connected to the floor, and we do not have any glute engagement. Hold this position. Inhale, keep the transverse abdominis engaged. And then on the exhale, I want you to return back to neutral, keeping the abdominals engaged here. Inhale. Good. Exhale. Draw the ASIS and rib cage together. Inhale to stay. And then exhale. Now let's go into hip release. From here, just relax your arms and shoulders, eyes up to the ceiling. And again, we are feeling the freedom of movement in our lumbopelvic hip region. From here, I would like you to either hands by the side, or you can put your hands on your hip bones and maintaining that neutral pelvis here, thinking about the ASIS and pubic symphysis in the same plane. Allow your left knee to drop off to the side. The tendency is going to want to tilt over, but we're really maintaining that neutral position here. As the knee comes out to the side, you're going to feel like you really need to engage those abdominals to prevent that tilt. And that knee's gonna come to the side as far as you can maintain that neutral, and then slide your leg out away from you while it is laterally rotated. At the extension, draw that heel back into the start position. Again, bring that knee out to the side, and then reach that leg away from you, and then draw that heel back. Let's go to the other direction now. Go straight out away from your body. From here, when it's extended, laterally rotate and then draw that heel back in, keeping that pelvis in neutral the whole time. And then extend, laterally rotate, and then draw it back to you. Let's do the other side. Let's start by allowing that right knee to come out to the side. That left knee is going to stay in the same position and not move. You reach that leg away while it's laterally rotated. And when it's fully extended, the knee's up to the ceiling, and then you draw that heel back to you. Let's go one more time, keeping that pelvis in neutral position, really needing to engage those abdominals to prevent any tilting. And then the other direction, reach that leg away, laterally rotate, draw it back to you, and come back to start. And one more time. And laterally rotate, and then draw it back to you again. Let's go into spinal rotation. So we're going to roll onto our side. I keep a pillow here. You can use a towel. I like to have a pillow here for my head. I want to stack my hip bones one on top of the other, and I'm going to reach my low arm away from me. I'm going to reach my upper arm towards my low arm so my fingers are stacked. One thing that we cannot see as well, but I want you to feel, is that you're not slinking into the mat. So think about the distance between my low rib and hip bone. I want that distance on this side to be equal distance and on this side. So what that means is I need to lift up. So I have a teeny little space or a little mouse house that fits right underneath my lower side right here. So from here, I maintain that little mouse house. I'm going to inhale, reach up to the ceiling, exhale, and let my eyes follow where my hand is. Inhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let's go one more time. Inhale, reach. Inhale. And let's do the other side. Rolling to the other side, reaching my fingertips away, finding that little mouse house, shoulders stacked, hip bones stacked. Inhale. You might feel that one side is a little tighter than the other side, and that is normal. We want to work to create balance on both sides of our body. And one more time, inhale, reach. Exhale, letting my eyes follow my hands, inhale. Nice job. And now let's go ahead and we can move the pillow, and we're going to go onto all fours for cat stretch. So from here, my hands are under my shoulders, my knees are under my hips. I'm going to start in neutral. Inhale through my nose. On the exhale, I want to begin with my tail. One vertebrae at a time. I'm going to roll I'm going to inhale to stay. On the exhale, let's begin with your tail to slowly unravel one vertebrae at a time. And return all the way to neutral, and then go past neutral and look all the way up in front of you, lengthening through the top of the head without releasing that abdominal connection. Inhale to stay. On the exhale, begin by tucking under. Inhale, and then exhale. Be sure to hit neutral, and then really when I'm in this position here, I want to find a length from my head to my tail. So I'm not overextending through my neck. Really feel a lengthening, and I'm not slouching into my shoulders. Inhale here, and on the exhale, tuck under. Inhale to stay, and then exhale. Find that length, and then let's just return to neutral and just take a big stretch back here. Slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time, and then we're going to roll over and lie down, and let's go into hip rolls here. We've been working on a lot of mobility and intention around our lumbopelvic hip region. So let's take this a little bit more mindfully right now. We're going to inhale, relax your shoulders, hands by your side. You're going to inhale. On the exhale, I want you to tuck the pelvis under. Slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Here we're going to add that glute activation. So you can see we rolled right through imprint. Begin to activate those glutes as you slowly peel up one vertebrae at a time. You're going to roll all the way up, feeling that articulation in your back. Inhale here to stay. On the exhale, you can soften from the top of your rib cage. You're going to slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. So I'm going to feel that upper and mid back connect with the floor before my lower back. And again, I roll through imprint, and then I return all the way back to neutral. Inhale. On the exhale, inhale to stay. Exhale. And one more time, inhale. Exhale as you roll. Inhale. And then soften the rib cage. And return back to neutral. From here, let's reach our fingertips towards the ceiling and feel a widening in the front of your shoulders. You want to also feel the scapula, your shoulder blades resting on the mat here. From here, inhale, and I want you to reach your fingertips towards the ceiling. So you're going to feel a lengthening in your back as you reach your fingertips. We're really exploring now movement around the shoulder blades and the scapula. And then you're going to exhale and return to neutral so your scapula is resting on the mat again. Inhale, reach. And then exhale. Inhale, reach. And then exhale. This one is a little more tricky. We're going into retraction now. So on the inhale, your arms stay straight and long, but I want you to feel that your scapula is drawing closer together while they are laying flat on the floor. This one is a little more tricky for people. So inhale, and you're going to see that my arms are lowering more as my shoulder blades come together. I'm not allowing an arch, or I'm not allowing this my trunk to come out of neutral. I'm really isolating my scapula, and then I return to neutral. Inhale, and then exhale. One more time, inhale, and then exhale. Now let's go into arm circles. You're going to inhale, reach around, and then inhale, return right back up. And we don't ever want to experience pain, so only create a circle that feels safe for your shoulders. And then the other direction, shoulder tightness is very common and typical. And this just helps to improve the mobility in our shoulders and also to create awareness of our scapula. We don't ever want to do anything that will cause pain or does not feel safe. Let's go into head nods. We're going to bring our hands to our side. So when we are doing any form of exercise and we come up into thoracic flexion where our upper body comes up off the floor, we want to initiate that with a head nod. So with our eyes looking directly up at the ceiling, we're going to use our eyes to help create a good position of our head, because our cervical spine and our head is going to follow where our eyes look. So inhale to prepare. On the exhale, your eyes are going to draw down the ceiling in the direction of your toes or your knees. And as you do that, you're going to feel a length in the back of your neck. We're not jamming the chin into the chest at all. It really is, you're going to feel a lengthening in the back of your neck, and then exhale and return to neutral. The neutral position of the cervical spine, we just have a small curve that is right behind our neck. A common posture that we see today is forward head posture. And sometimes we have, if someone is lying down and they have a forward posture, we might see something like this. If you have forward posture, you'll want to put a pillow behind your head to try to achieve that neutral position. Inhale, let's try a few head nods. There, inhale, let your eyes draw down and lengthen. And then exhale and return back to neutral. Inhale. And then exhale. One more time, inhale. And then exhale and neutral. And when you are doing a head nod and you find that length, really try to feel that your shoulders maintain a relaxed position. And let's do the last warm-up exercise is elevation and depression of the scapula. You're going to inhale and then exhale. So right now we start by having the scapula in that neutral position, resting on the mat, and we inhale and we lift the shoulders up towards our ears, and then we exhale and we draw them away from our ears. We don't want to go down so low that we begin to round our shoulders and our torso. So really feeling that freedom of movement and that isolation in our scapula. Inhale and then exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. That was a great warm-up for today. You're now ready to go on to the Pilates exercise portion, which you will find just called Pilates Basic Exercise.